everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're trying something different. We're diving into the Elder Scrolls Online. I've been playing this for a while, so just to change it up from usually I've been playing Overwatch, so right now I just wanted to go back to MMO to see how things are going over here.
I'm afraid we've reached the really scary bit. The Daedric creature responsible for all these portals waits just beyond that gate. If you have any other preparations to make them now.
Have any advice on how to slay this thing?
Again, I'm just a scholar, but I'd encourage you to remember what we practiced before. Keep moving, strike true, and exploit any opening the creature gives you.
Got it.
There it is! Send it back to Oblivion!
Wither and die! You cannot kill what cannot die. Only I will remain.
Been a while. That hit. Nice, got her.
You did it! Hopefully the gallery wasn't too badly damaged. Follow me!
Nice. Equip.
Well, that was thrilling. Now, we should make our way to the central chamber of the Keyride's gallery.
Okay. What do you have here? Let's loot, see what loots are around. Oh good. A new ring. Quick. Where's his head? Make some space. Alrighty. See what they have in these urns. Nice. Lockpick. Always useful to have those. Chai. Let's see. Oh, good. Another ring. This one. Right. Where's the other ring? And okay, let's see. Bookshelves. Sacred Witness, Part 1 by Emmerich Millis. I met countesses, courtesans, empresses, and witches, ladies of war, and slaying of peace. But I've never met a woman like the Night Mother, and I never will again. I'm a writer, a poet of some small renown. If I told you my name, you may have heard of me. Very likely not. But decades until very recently, I've adopted the city of Sentinel of the coast of Hammerfell as my home, and kept the company of the artists, painters, tapestries, and writers. No one I knew would have known an assassin by sight, least of all the queen of them, the blood flower, the lady of death, the Night Mother. Not that I have not heard of her. Some years ago, I had the good fortune of meeting Alamis Assis, a respected scholar, who has come to Hammerfell to do research for a book about the Order Diagna. His essay, The Brother of Darkness, together with Ymir Gorman, The Fire of Darkness, the Brotherhood of Dead, are considered to be the canon tomes of the subject of Tamriel's Order of Assassins. By luck, Gorman himself was also in Sentinel, and I was privileged to sit with the two in dark skooma den in the musty slums of the city, as we smoked and talked about the Dark Brotherhood, the Morang Tong, and the Night Mother. But not disputing the possibility that the Night Mother may be an immortal, or at least very long-lived. I see, though it most likely that several women, perhaps some of the men, but the ages has assumed the honorary title. Not more logical to say that there was only one Night Mother. He asserted that to say there was only one King of Sentinel. All men argued that there never was a Night Mother, at least not human one. The Night Mother was Mephala herself, whom the Brotherhood revered second only to Tithys. I don't suppose there's any way of knowing for certain, I said in a note of diplomacy. Certainly there is, whispered Gorman with a grin. You could talk to that cloak fella in the corner. I had not noticed the man before, who sat by himself, eyes hidden by his cloak, seemingly as much part of the dingy place as the rough stone and unswept floor. Turning back to Ymir, I asked him why the man would know about the Night Mother. He's a dark brother, his Pelamiatzis, as plain as the moon, but even joke about speaking with him about her. We moved on to the other arguments about the Morang Tong and the Brotherhood, but I never forgot the image of the lone man, looking at nothing and everything in the corner of the dirty room, with fumes of skooma smoke floating around him like ghosts. I saw him weeks later on the streets of Sentinel. I followed him. Yes, I followed him. The reader may reasonably ask why and how. I don't blame you for that. That was simply a question of knowing my city as well as I do. I'm not a thief, not particularly sure-footed and quiet, but I know the alleys and streets of Sentinel intimately for decades worth of ambling. I know which bridges creak, which building casts long irregular shadows, the interval at which the native birds begin the ululations of their evening song. Relative ease, I kept pace with the Dark Brother and out of his sight and hearing. The answer to why is very simple. I have the natural curiosity of the born rider. When I see a strange new animal, I must observe. It is the rider's curse. I trailed the cloak man deeper into the city, down an alley so narrow it was scarcely a crack between the two tenements, past the crooked fence, and suddenly, miraculously, I was in a place I'd never seen before. A little courtyard cemetery, a dozen old, half-rotten wooden tombstones. None of the surrounding building had windows that faced it, but no one knew this miniature necropolis existed. No one except the 6 men and 1 woman standing in it, and me. The woman saw me immediately and gestured for me to come closer. I could have run, but no, I couldn't have. I had pierced a mystery right in my adopted sentinel, and I could not leave it. She knew my name. She said it is with a sweet smile. The Night Mother was a little old lady with fluffy white hair, cheeks like wrinkled apples, that would still carry the flush of youth. Friendly eyes, blue at the sky, lilac bay. She softly took my arm as we sat down amidst the graves and discussed murder. It was not always in Hammerfell, not always available for direct assignment, but it seemed she enjoyed actually talking to her clientele. I did not come here to hide the Brotherhood, I said respectfully. Then why are you here? The Night Mother asked, eyes nerve leaving mine. I told her I wanted to know about her. I did not expect an answer to that, but she told me. Mystery. Another lockpick. Voice of Blackwood. A warrior's Hatana. The serial love for good food and drink is well known throughout Tamriel, and no imperial table setting is complete without a bottle or jug of rich wine to accompany the meal. Yet when enthusiasm gathered to discuss their favorite vintages, most assume that the only wines that will be discussed are the famously robust red blends of the Colovian Highlands. This author's estimations that is a grievous oversight. Every region of the empire produces wine of some merit, including, of course, the province of Blackwood. An authoritative survey of all the vintners in such a large region would, of course, be beyond the scope of this humble transcript. Instead, let us turn our attention to the styles and characteristics of wines from this little regarded viticulture area. Eaves and the surrounding Blackwood countryside are among the warmest and most humid regions in the empire, and this of course means that different varieties of grapes and growing techniques are required here than one might find in Colovia. Grapes in this climate ripen swiftly, lending themselves to sweet, complex wine with strong floral and fruity notes. We begin the left bank. Wines of the hills west of the Navan River flows by the dry plains of Aniquina. This, of course, is the most arid part of the Transnivian region. The wines made here are the most Colovian in character of any in Eowyn. Red varieties such as the Queen's Tear and the Narian's Vine do well here. The mild winters and long growing season ripens the grape. Early, the Transnivian hills produce sweet yet robust wines that can be truly extraordinary in the hands of a master vintner. Moving east, we come to the Eaves of the Nivian forest, hotter, more humid than the regions west of the river. This area is not well suited for most red grapes. However, white grape varieties such as the Petite Grey, the White Moon, and the Grey Ambrosia flourish in these forest-shadowed vineyards. They are of course among the sweetest and most fruitful of all imperial wines, yet that should not distract from any assessment of the quality. Elegant and refreshing at their best, the Nivian forest white need not be ashamed of any imperial lord cellars. Farther east, in the marges of Black Marsh, we finally come to the land where grapes simply do not do well. Sweltering heat and the humidity makes the establishment of vineyards all but impossible. Necessity is the mother of invention, of course, so the people of Blackwood eastern borders instead made wine of what they have on hand: figs, blackberries, blueberries, and even peaches. One might be forgiven for assuming that this could only produce cloyingly sweet fruit juice. In many cases, one would be correct, but some of these fruit wines are surprisingly balanced, and a suitable complement to the spicy cuisine favorite in the area. No one would suggest cellaring a Black Marsh peach wine or serving to his, I guess, with a selective palate, but to wash down a homestead dinner on a warm summer evening, one would do worse. Nice. Okay. Let's see what's over here. Good, and a lockpick. What's in the bookshop? Interview contest Carol. Conducted by Mercuro Catrasso on behalf of the citizens of Libyan after the collapse of the Empire and the disbanding of the Imperial Elder Council. MC. Why did you decide to cede your authority to the Chamber of Legates? I will yield nothing to anyone. I am still the Countess of Libyan City and the surrounding province. It is my birthright and my sacred duty. What I have done in appointed the Chambers of Legates to handle the day-to-day affairs of the city while I turn my attention to loftier matters. What sort of loftier matters are you dealing with, Countess? Oh, the loftiest, I assure you, but let us talk about other things. Such delicate concerns are not meant for public consumption. Very well, how did you go about selecting the members to serve in the Chambers of Legates? But after much research and deliberations, I settled on a triumvirate of legates to facilitate decision-making and to make sure no legislation will be delayed due to the lack of clear majority. The math works in our favor. Even if they cannot all come to the same conclusion, there will always be at least 2 legates who can agree. Majority rules and all that. As for who should serve, well, the first members were obvious. Wanted to make sure that all 3 predominant groups were in interest in the region we represented. But both the Visako and Ana Halu have served their communities since the time of the Longhouse Emperors, but Khajiit and the Nargonian, it stood to reason that I also needed to find an Imperial. Luckily, Councillor Leviticus was between jobs after the Elder Council disbanded. I've heard rumors that you and the legate sometimes find yourself at odds over certain decisions they have made. Where did you hear that? Is there someone whose head I need to have lopped off? Joking, no. I leave the chambers of the gates to do their jobs, and they leave me to contemplate those loftier matters I mentioned earlier. I sometimes wish they didn't take up so much time in the castle, but beyond that, I appreciated and support the work of the legates. Even Councillor Leviticus, who had issue with during his tenure on the Elder Council. So it is safe to say that there's bad blood between you and the councillors, Leviticus. Wherever did you get that idea? Governmental officials have disagreements all the time. It goes with the territory. But we both have the interests of Libyan and the Blackwood at heart. Even if we have different approaches to achieve those ends, that's what makes life at court so interesting. Speaking of court, I heard you refused to see High Chancellor Abner Thorne when he visited the city last month. Is that true? Abner Thorne is a conceited old bastard, and I'm more than convinced that he played some role in the unfortunate collapse of our beloved empire at the start of this damn war. He could go to oblivion for all I care, and you are correct. He isn't welcome within the confines of Levian Castle. The Three Banners War, do you consider Lewin to be safe from that ongoing conflict? I says that we can be considering our proximity to Imperial City. Our Captain Ryan and the Ivory Brigade has thus far been able to keep the worst of the fighting from reaching our province. I expect the brigades to maintain the simplicity of our borders until resolution can be reached. Thank you for your time, Countess Carol. Oh, think nothing of it. I do enjoy taking a few moments to share my thoughts with the little people. Provides a break from those loftier matters I must deal with, while refreshing in small doses. Okay, let's see.
By all the stars! Look at the central column. I had no idea it was concealing something like this. Let's get a closer look.
Ah, nice. Let's see what I can find here. So many jugs. I could sell that. Anything I'm missing? Here. The ownership of the Othman. Apparatus Ellen here. We are priming for the young students of a mortal obligation to record his or her life story, presented in the form of quotations from the classics. All Tamrielics recognize the duty of memorialize the events of our lives, a duty upon us by the divines at the beginning of time. The most ancient reference we have to this journaling owners come from the Aldemeria, the great origin saga of the Elves, which quotes the god Xerxes, ascribed to Ariel. As ye are true children of the El Adar, thou shalt honor us by honoring thy own lives. For in each of you is housed the divine spark, and thus the record of thy action is a sacred duty. Keep therefore each and every one of you an Alkmaar, and every scriven scroll which shall memorialize the brief life, thus in at least the way shall thy spark be immortal. In the late Meredith, the Nord culture hero, Grasmore developed a runic alphabet based on Elvish principle, which enabled the written transcription of Moran speech. Grasmore's first work in this new form of writing was to chronicle his own life and his events, making Grasmore the first human historian. Here's a quotation from the great hero himself as recorded in the Songs of Return Volume 1. And thought I did well a great ire against the perfidious elf, and desired nothing more than to heed me hence to Yakurfake, and to take ship back to Tamriel, where I could try the edge of Urhad against their all too many necks. Yet I have beheld during my captivity that the wealthy elves possess much learning and knowledge, though they put it to ends both vile and dishonorable. Now bethought me that to defeat the elves and scour them from the land, it would be well if men also did well such wisdoms. Therefore a strong long launcher with a woeful bowstrings and sought the marshes of the east, where dwelled Fabdrosta, the great snow goose, and I slew her with a hawk-fletched dart, and plucked of her a great quill, which I used to write down my speech, as I had seen the Elvins do. And I vow that henceforth all men will record their ideas and thoughts, just a short crab a record of his victory over his neck into the side of shivering glaciers, and in this way would the vast weight of killing elves be preserved. This obligation was ratified against in the time of Saint Alicia, and the founder of the Empire of Cyrodiil, the demigod Morehals, and the first breath of man himself get a chronicle that has come down to us as the Adabada, one of the first precepts of the recording of all that has happened. Then Morehouse snorted and sparked fiercely against the non-scriptionist, saying, Are then the deeds of the Paravans to be forgotten by the men of henceforth? Are the crimes of Salish to be erased so that the 7 pretexts for mayhem shall seem all unjustified? Nay, Bakatash, nay, by the dragon of duration, whose gave us time so that even the events could unfold in their sequence. Thus be recalled as they happen. Never shall your ill prevent our people from recording their tales, as dead of a weaning Salich in the late torment epoch. And he did smile their head from their shoulders, and their core fells word on the stones recording their several demise. So student, do not groan and complain of the burden. Harping and cavilling were your parents and teachers ask if you have written today in your journal, because to do so is a right for which your ancestors paid in blood. Oh, let's see what else. Another one. Darkest Divinities, Pascal Skull Splitter. But man and man knew sin since time began. The Daedric Princess watches each mer and man, so that lights a day from dawn to dusk. Hermes Mora calls upon memories. Earthsin Wells Hun tracks blood and scent and musk. Othaya pursues conspiracy. Baal Malakat remembers every curse. Where runes Daga knows destruction's wrath. Maz Shirkorath hums a nonsense verse. Stern Jigalag set order on his path. Dark Malagbal takes blood and souls as wealth. Vermina lives in worlds that dreamers see, but none can match unseen eternal stealth, or hiddenness sanguine revelry. Every troubled soul that must expire a Daedric prince. Let's see what is in these urns. Nice. So that I collect herbs later on. Let's see. Issue the Blackfin goes to war part 1. A Picurial friend and confident to Keshu the Blackfin. The season following Keshu the Blackfin's return from the ruins of the Old Ones, as she referred to the so-called bands Saklil who lived in the distant past. He was extremely busy, breathing life into Keshu's hope and desire. In addition to learning some small amount about the way the Old Ones lived, Keshu's time of the contemplation among the ruins saw the development of new ways of thinking for our leader and lifelong friend. She came back to us with a dream. Some would tell you that from the moment she returned from the ruins, Keshu wanted to bring about the resurrection of the Ben Saklil society. Now, while she was definitely interested in learning more about the ancient time, her initial dream was much more simpler. She wanted to defend Saklil from the threat of outsiders. When Solstin was captured by the Dark Elf slavers, I think it affected Keshu on a profound level. And when she threatened Solstin, the other Saklil captive, I think her destiny was set in motion. Keshu decided to create an army. He called for volunteers from across the Greater Marsh, and a surprisingly number answered to that call. Village elders, tree minder, and the sap speakers were of mixed minds about her actions, but in the end they decided to sit back and let the Hiss sort it out. For all things in Sadlia's life, if Keshu succeeded, then her plans were meant to come to fruition. And if she failed, then she would disappear into the swamp and never to be heard from again. That was the way things happened in Black Marsh, but whatever Keshu's ultimate fate, in the beginning she was unstoppable. The initial band, informally known as the Black Finn's Legion, was more than 24 strong. Keshu and the Bolsh Horuk at first served as instructors and trainers for the small gathering of warriors, but soon other notable fighters had rallied to her banner, including the battle mage known as Fire from Nowhere and the Saklil freedom fighter called Elf Slayer. They provided expertise and help the training to reduce the burden of our beloved leader. And Keshu, determined that we were all at last ready to be tested, she decided on a target and pointed her newly honed weapon at it. We were going to attack a house of trust slave caravan and set the captives free. We planned and trained for weeks, preparing for every contingency Keshu and her most trusted advisors could think of. We scouted the house trust and enclaves. We connoitred the most probable path from Stronghold toward Morrowind. We watched, we waited, and then we made our move. The house-trust slave caravan departed from Stronghold on a rainy morning with little fanfare. A line of Sakiel slaves consisting of more than 50 of our egg brothers and egg sisters were chained together and forced to march between the two massive wagons, each pulled by a team of Guar. House-trust guard rode atop the wagons. March on each side of the line slave and range around the caravan atop horses and other riding beasts. In all, there were about 30 Dark Elves warriors guarding the caravan. For this exercise, Keshu led a force of 26 Blackfin legionnaires to liberate the slaves. Our warriors were nervous. For the majority of them, this would be their first real battle, and the thought they were well trained and committed to Keshu's cause, they still suffer from the usual fear associated with entering a life or death situation. Keshu and her officers remained visible, displaying confidence and determination that went on a long way towards calming our troops. We set up to ambush the caravan, and it made its way throughout a narrow passage a few hundred strides from the border of Morrowind. Keshu gave the signal, and she rushed forward to meet the enemy. We followed, spilling from our hiding place like wood ants emerging from a rotting log. If we were still nervous, it didn't show as we fell upon the Dark Elves. Keshu's strategy worked perfectly. When the battle was over, the Dark Elf guards were either dead or had surrendered, and the thought we had suffered a few minor wounds, none of the Blackfin Legionnaires had fallen. The mission went off flawlessly, and Keshu's reputation grew with every Saklil captor we set free. Pretty cool story. Let's go down. Nice. Oh, good. Let's see. Countess Carol's birthday. Let me see that. Did I read this one? I don't think so. Okay. Countess Carol's birthday by Primus Falto, Countess Carol's Majordomo. Countess Carol's birthday is not just an event, it's an incident. But the Countess herself has more or less removed herself from the day-to-day running on Leywin. I assure you that it's not out of any sense of modesty. Her birthday is proof of this. Decadence has never squandered when it comes to the reigning family of Leywin, and the Countess had never been an exception. The food is always the most important part of any celebration. The foundation of every good party starts with what the guests' bellies will be full of. For Countess Carol's birthday, we are sure that only the finest decorative our table. Golden platter teetered with roasted chicken, plump and golden with dripping butter and honey, red slices of beet, cut of fish that melt on your tongue, suckling pig and charred mushroom, the scent of mink together into this practically seductive. Crocks of roast vegetables, thick soups that you can't help but eat with hunks of dark, pillowy bread and the wobbling bowls of pudding. The sweets are another matter entirely. Layer cakes tower over the guest's head in every shade imaginable. Sugar pastries laid against one another, the sheen of glaze on them as glossy as a mirror. Candy yam, dark berry preserved, pies bubbling with sweet sap, a golden buttery crust, each more beautiful than the last. I could write about the feast forever, but I simply must move on. The food is only a small part of the decadence of this grand event. The decorations are my personal pride, and something I have poured every ounce of myself into. Words I use for inspiration include outrageous, grandiose, exorbitant, and totally dazzling. Gold at the start of the celebration, golden dishes, gold-threaded table runners, shimmering gold curtains. Even the lighting is perfectly crafted with the lighting of hundreds of candles hiding in an alcoves along the tables. Banquets, bouquets of flowers are dusted with warm light, the perfume as rich and buttery as the color gold itself. Last but certainly not least, proper attire is required to attend this event. The guests are just as important to an event as the other condiments. Those are lucky enough to be invited spend months preparing their wardrobe. Decadent skills, jewel-studded vests, shoes with pearls, circlet rings on every finger. No one walks in without looking the absolute best. Some guests even plan to change outfits halfway throughout the celebration. The cause of all of this, on my ass, a good party planner never reveals such secrets. Okay, move on. Enigma of the Runestones. Pellet Tellinger Artificer. The origin of the mystic runestones found scattered across Tamriel is obscure and uncertain. Even nature and materials composition is a matter of hard debate among the sages of the Crystal Tower. The venerable Artisrink Tarpiarch of mythic history holds a certain difficult passages in Turenon's journal indicate that runestones were already here when the four sages arrived from all Aldemaris. However, Nolan, the many-hued Tarpiarch of enchantment, contends that they dated from the early Meredith Eric and are the unintended consequence of an alien wizard experimenting on Ori. Whatever the truth of the origin after generations studied by the finest magical minds in the Somerset Isles, the various properties have nearly all been identified, and the uses in the enchantment of armor and ornaments as well understood. For general classification, they fall into three categories, which are latter-day mages have dot potency, aspect, and essence. For enchantment purposes, these three types of runestones can be understood as mystically complementary, for only by combining one of each category can the enchanter create a glyph. Our term for the magical substance we use to endow an item with sorcerer's power. However, though we know how to use runestones to create magical items, the enigma remains. Or are they? We have named the 3 standard categories: potency, aspect, and essence, but what does that mean? Even the great Faris the Antic, who gave them these names, even he, when asked what they meant, merely shrugged and replied, "Those are the names that felt right to me." Even the fact that there are 3 kinds of runestone generate debate, and it seems to contradict the Omnipotue theorem, which posits that duality is the foundation of the Arabis. Camillon of Lidendrill asserted that it was impossible that there were only 3 types of runestones. I spent the last 200 years of his life searching for a 4th, convinced that proper classification called for such entities to appear in dual pair. And he found this: Ortonic runestone, which he dubbed celerity, which he insisted into the end that his theory was sound. Was Camillon right? Do celerity runestone exist? Or in some state of reality that makes them imperceptible to normal mortals? That is a question that is so far unanswerable. Let's see what's in this one. Okay. How Hakwin got her tale, a traditional Gonian children's tale of a cobra to Linkash. One day, Hakwin was busy soaring through the air when she heard a voice from the ground call up to her. "You're pretty good at that," Ogdaug said, his beady eye tracking her across the sky. "But how fast are you on the ground?" Hakwin dove at Ogdaug's head and giggled as he ducked. "I'm as fast as I need to be." "I bet I'm faster than you," Bogdog challenged. Hakwin spun in the air and landed lightly on a rock beyond Bogdog's grasp. "What did you suggest?" "I'll race. If you win, I won't haunt you our kind again." "Now if I don't," Hawkin asked, knowing better than to trust Bogdog. "If I win," Bogdog barked, "I get to eat you." Hawkin thought about the terms of the race. They were too good to pass up. Bogdog had been hunting her family for too long. Now she had a chance to stop them. Hawkin nodded. "We will race to that boulder there in the distance. The first one to reach it wins the race." Bogdog nodded. "Before we start, you must stand next to me. Otherwise, one of us will have an unfair advantage." Hawkin forgotten not to trust Bogdog. Did as he asked and climbed down from her rocky perch. In a flash, Bogdog's toothy muscle snapped at her. But Hawkwing was too fast. She took into the sky so quickly that the Bogdog's bite missed her middle and snapped close on her short tail. Hawkwing pulled her wings, flapping as fast as they could. She pulled and flapped and stretched until she could reach the boulder. "I won," she prayed. "Let go of my tail. I've won and you can't eat me." Reluctantly, Bogdog let go of Hawkwing's tail, which had been stretched so far that it was so much longer than the stub it had been. Narwhals keep their tails long to honor their quick ancestor and remind Bogdogs to keep their promise. Oops. Let me search these before. Good. Okay, I got one already. The Blackfin Foreign Adventure Part 2. May seek Squire and personal aid to Kishu the Blackfin. Now, the declaration of the formation of the Ebonborn Pact and the abolition of Draconian slavery didn't result in the immediate cessation of all Dark Elf slavers' activity. It would take almost a full year for most of the Dark Elf provinces and holds to comply with the order of the tribunal. Even then, there were Dark Elf houses that refused to accept the new accords. This resulted in a few awkward situations. For Keshu and her Blackfin legions, they toured the land of Morrowind as the initial Draconian representative to the Alliance. We'd met a good amount of fear and hatred during those early days of the Alliance, so Dark Elves became very uncomfortable when a heavy armed force of Argonians approached the town or village. At these, we were turned away at best or attacked by settlements with a sizable militia. Others thought, having heard the story of the Battle of Elvenheart, appeared grateful to our help and were happy to welcome us into their homes. But such treatment is such more common now. Back then it was nearly unheard of, and we were both surprised and thankful every friendly face we encountered. We spent the first year of the Alliance in Dark Elf territory, making our presence known and working to make sure that all of the tenets of the agreement were adhered to. We also took in many of the newly freed Argonians, even the ones who decided not to return to Bark Marsh, or to try to make a goal of it as a free Sackleal in Morrowind, an immediate purpose and a place to belong. In this way, the Blackfin Legion continued to grow even as it traveled throughout Morrowind. Eventually, we arrived at Moorhold as guests of the Tribunal. We spent nearly a month camped outside the city and regularly met with Al-Malixia and other important Dark Elf and Nord officials. Keshu participated in discussions to bolster the defense of the Pact by forming an army of the Alliance, which will include forces donated by each of the members' nations. As we were looking for purpose, Keshu volunteered the Blackfin Legion to serve as the backbone of the new allied army. In this time, Keshu would become not only a war hero, but one of the foremost generals leading the Pact forces. Before the initial year had ended, Keshu and the Blackfin Legion would prove their worth to the Pact by once again saving the day. This time it was to deal with raiders crossing the mountains from the west. Rumors abound that the raiders were either found by the Daggerfall Covenant or were Covenant soldiers in disguise, but we were never able to prove that. When reports of the large band raiders attacking Dark Elf settlements in western Morrowind reached Moorhold, Keshu offered to take the Pack army on a hunting expedition. Keshu's forces consisted of mostly Blackfin legionnaires, bolstered by a contingent of Nord soldiers and a squadron of Dark Elf mages and healers. We moved quickly, followed the path of destruction led by the raiders until we finally caught them at the Indranos Pass. Keshu divided our forces, sending half of our contingent around to cut off the raiders' escape path into the mountains, while the rest of our troops formed an arrowhead and advanced on the raiders' position. Instead of holding fast, the raiders decided to turn and run. That's when our troops swarmed out of the rocky foothills and we caught the raiders between us. After all the trouble we caused, we expected them to put up more of a fight. Ah, interesting tale. Okay, let's go down. Good. Oh, ash. A lockpick. Take that. Ooh, a lot of stuff to sell when I get back to the city. Ooh, good. Always have opening all the treasure chests found all over the place. I really like those. Like the exploration about it. Ah, great. Let me go the other side. We run. Alrighty. Let's see. Ah, great. No lockpick. Let's see what the story they have. Let me see this one. Oh yes, I did that one already. Nice. Jerked. How can I build the same? Okay, read that one too. Oh, that's cool. Different from the other books. Too bad I can't even click on it. Pirates of Topple Bay. Battanian Leviticus, chief counselor. Of all the trouble I found waiting for me after I retired from Citadel to Leyland some month ago, piracy has emerged as perhaps the most meddling and persistent. Pirates have played the lower Niven and Topple Bay since the days of Red Brahman, many centuries ago, of course. But the collapse of the Imperial authority has given rise to swarming fleets of sea reavers and bloody-handed corsairs, impudently hunting waters the Empire once kept safe. If trade is the lifeblood of an empire, then the pirates of Topple Bay are vampires of the worst sort. Reckless and insatiable fiends who care not whether they destroy the very thing they feed upon. Not even Leyland stone ramparts can check the boldest of the Topaz pirates. Some of these villains disguise themselves as common merchantmen or bribe port officials to pass beneath our city's bridges. Pirates from the southern sea had been known to raid homesteads and capture barges as far north as Bravel and the Corvel River. If I accomplish nothing else as a member of the Leyland's Chamber of Legates, I am determined to put a stop to this brazen running of rivers. I can only find the goal of blade to see it done. The following pirate had made themselves the particular enemy of Blackwood with their wanton acts. Ashassadra, sometimes known as Ashasa Three-Claw, is an old Khajiit who named herself the Mother of Pirates. She seemed to have spies everywhere along the Palatine coast and controls gangs from Libyan down to the ruins of Sechol. Her pirate crew, a dozen small coasters, excel at passing themselves as harmless merchantmen until they come alongside. Not a month ago, Ashassadra and her gang stole a merchant ship tied under Leyland's very ramparts. Ordad, the terror of the Topple Bay, is responsible for the plunder of several ships in the waters that are west of Topple Island. He famously boasted of his intention to raid Leyland itself someday. He has not been seen in some time. He may have left our waters to gather the fleet he needs for such a bold attack. The name of the captain, Blue Wamasu, is unknown, but he is reputed to be an Arconian behemoth of unusual intelligence. Blue Wamasu is a large, well-armed Galian bestowed with the skeletal remains of her previous victims and equipped with heavy ballistae firing grapples to snag her prey. Blue Wamasu's captain is especially bloodthirsty and leaves no survivors when he strikes. The pirate galleon is often found in the waters near Topple Island. Finally, the Nor Gaia Grada, a self-named sea witch with unusual power over the sea and wind, leads a pirate flotilla that hides somewhere in the channels of the Onkobra River, many miles on the west coast of Black Marsh. Grada commands 3 or 4 fast galleys and prefers to catch a prey in the open sea, running down fat merchantmen like a pack of northern wolves. Grada has made the waters east of Tiddenholm so dangerous that most merchant captains entering Topple Bay choose the narrow passages west of the island, hoping to avoid her attention. There are half a dozen more captains I could list, but these 4 are sufficient to bring me to the edge of despair. In the many years of my service in the Imperial Elder Council, I read report after report from Imperial officials in Blackwood about the piracy problem in Topple Bay. Time and again, they begged the White Gold Tower for funds of warships to deal with these violent criminals, and yet never could we find the resources. As I head of the Leyland's Chamber Legate, farmers in the position face the same problem. I ignored before, and there is no help to be had. It seems that the fate has a sense of irony. Ooh, pretty cool. Alrighty. Nice ash. Ooh. Lockpick. Okay. What's this one? Ah, there's a different one. Closing the octal cage, or a defense against the plane meld. The natural anchors, like the sky of Tamriel, those learned in such matters know they herald the plane meld, Jedrick plot on unfathomable darkness. But in times when all hope seems lost, they divines provide. We can salvage our future by looking to the past. The chancel of divine entreaties is our first bulwark against Moloch Baal's devious plot. Particular construction of this alien ruin should be immediately apparent to a scholar of the eight divines. The symmetrical nature of its construction, the altar plate below the eight-line arch, and the harmonic blend of tonal tithics reveal the divine hand of its formation. Should one blow a large enough horn within the chancel's wall, this clarion call would be heard as far as Elder Fruit. After intensive research, I believe this to be one piece of the long rumor octal cage. There should be 7 ruins identical to this scattered throughout Tamriel. But I do not know, but I shall locate them all. Then I will find the 8 hollow clarions mentioned in the apocryphal accounts of the Aliat laws of sacred tour to Elysia. Nothing tasked by the octal cage was thought capable of seeing Daedric princes away from Nirn for Kurt. Turning hollow clarion in all 8 ruins all at the same time may be enough to bring the octal cage to life. I depart in the morning. If my task proves fruitless, so be it. We must oppose the harvester of soul as best we can. Until then, any who calls the god of schemes their enemy may avail themselves to my laboratories. Right, let's see. Ooh. The na Tambru o Yokuda. Centuries ago, before the Ragada crossed the sea in the land of the beaches Hammerfell, the ancestors of the modern Red Guard people live upon the continent of Yokuda. The ruling body of the Yokudan people, known as the Na Totambu, was a council of kings whose respective nations birthed magnificent advances in metallurgy, agriculture, and shipbuilding unknown even modern times. When the continent Yokuda sank beneath the waves in a great cataclysm, the Na Totambu moved the system of government and surviving people across the sea in a fearsome Ragada. Even depleted as they were by the cataclysm, the Red Guard slashed through the deserts and hills to establish their nations anew. Conquering Breton, Altmer, and Orc with little trouble. As the decades passed, the influence of the Na Totambu faded, and the Red Guard society still the 2 primary cultural factions. The forebears, generally considered the more adaptable of the 2, opened trade with former enemies and maintained the coast port. Inland, the crown still held much of their power and strongly adhered to the ancient Yokudan tenets. Despite this fanatical veneration, much Yokudan knowledge was lost to time and the feuds between the factions. Eldest crown scholars scantily chide the modern Red Guards as mere cultural shadows of their ancestors. Let me see this one. Okay, done that one. Let me check the urn. Alrighty. Did I do this one? Oh no. Sacred Witness Part 2 by Emmerich Milries. I did not come here to hide the brotherhood as respectively. Then why are you here? The Night Mother asked, her eye never leaving mine. I told her I wanted to know about her. I did not expect the answer to that, but she told me. Do not mind the stories you've written dreams about me, she chuckled. Some of them are very amusing, some of them are good for business. I like the sexy dark woman lounging in the Libyan in Karlovac townways fiction particularly. Truth is that my history would not make a very dramatic tale. I was a thief long ago, back when the thief guild was only beginning. It's such a bother to sneak around the house when performing a burglary, and many of us found it most efficacious to strangle to the occupants of the house, just for convenience. I suggested to the girl that a segment of our order be dedicated to the arts and science of murder. That did not seem like such a controversial idea to me. The Night Mother shrugged. We are specialists in cat burglary, pickpocketing, lockpicking, fencing, and all the essential parts of the job. But the girl thought that encouraging murder would be a bad business. Too much to argue. They might have been right, the old woman continued. But I discovered there is a profit to be made, just the same from sudden death. Not only can one rob the deceased, but if your victim has enemies, which rich people often do, you can be paid for even more. I began to murder people differently when I discovered that. After strangling them, I would put 2 stones in their eyes, one black and one white. Why, I ask? It was sort of a calling card of mine. You're a writer, don't you want your name on your books? I couldn't use my name, but I wanted the potential client to know me and my work. I don't do it anymore, no need to that. But at the time, it was my signature. Word spread, and I soon acquired a successful business. And that became the Morag tongue, I asked. Oh dear me, no. The Night Mother smiled. The Morag tongue was around long before my time, I know. I am old, but not that old. I merely hired on some of the other assassins when they began to fall apart after the murder of the last potentate. They did not want to be members of the tongue anymore. And since I was the only other murder syndicate of any note, they just joined on. I phrased my next question carefully. Will you kill me now that you told me all of this? She nodded sadly, letting out a little grandmother sigh. You're such a nice, polite young man. I hate to end our acquaintanceship. I don't suppose you agreed to a concession of 2 in exchange for your life, would you? To my everlasting shame, I did agree, as I would say nothing about our meeting, which, as the reader can see, was a promise I eventually, years later, chose not to keep, or have endangered my life thus. Because of the promise I did keep, I helped the Night Mother and the Dark Brotherhood in acts too despicable, too bloody for me to set up to paper. My hand quivers as I think about the people I betrayed, beginning with that night. I tried to write my poetry, but ink seemed to turn to blood. Finally I fled, changing my name, going to a land where no one would know me. Now I wrote this, the true history of the Night Mother, from the interview she gave me on the night we met. Will be the last thing I ever write. This I know, and every word is true. Pray for me. Editor's note. Though originally published anonymously, the identity of the author having never been in serious doubt, any layman familiar with the works of the poet Emmerich Mildries would recognize the sacred witness familiar cadence and style in such books of his as the Alekier. Shortly after publication, Mildries was murdered and his killer was never found. He had been strangled and 2 stones, a black one and a white one, crushed into his eye sockets very brutally. The Temple of the Dragon Cult. A certain tile. In this distant reaches Skyrim, beyond the remote farming communities and hunter's shack, you may stumble over a broken stone, half buried and covered in moss and ivy. look closer in case these are the effigies of animal gods worshipped by wild more than primitives. The deification of the bear, dragon, fox, moth, owl, snake, whale, and wolf have all been recorded by our field agents, and many believe these totems stand as sentinels over the lost ruins. These tumble-down temples guarded by half-walking drawers and worse are from a time when the dragon cult supposedly ruled this province. But no modern Tamrielian need believe these hopelessly fanciful fables. The North's simple-minded veneration for these places betoken the fear of the return of the dragon priest. During the worship of Akatosh, the dragon, as god-kings over men, these priests were the conduits through which dragons spoke made laws and were honored with grand and elaborate temples. When Alduin, Akatosh's firstborn, was defeated atop the throat of the world during the mythical Dragon War, the cult that sprung up around these dragon guardians soon receded into the soil, buried among dragon mounds with the remains of these beasts. They were finally vanquished in the Rift Mountain by the High King Harold in the First Era 140. The veneration of animal gods was soon replaced by the Aid Divine. Okay, let's see what we have. Nice. Good. Okay, that was a better necklace. Don't need. If I'm an archer, I won't be needing a blade. Never had enough luck picks. Oh, good. Oh man, I love the architecture. Oh, eerie. Good. Great. There. Oh, I see two bases over here in this corner.
This is the Keyrights Gallery, but not as I remember it. Now I see why we never managed to unlock the gates. Their power comes from this arcane
went ahead of me.
Amazing. With the helix exposed, these gates can finally reopen. Perhaps not all of them at first, but enough to reach most of Tamriel. The question for you, I suppose, is where to first?
Getting ash and bones. Good. I make a good profit when I go back. Oh man, look at this place. And it look like a prison. With your gates all over the place. Oh, there's somebody here. He has a dog. You come around, pick the stuff. Another recipe. Good. I wonder where that place is. And this. Look like Hammerfell or Morrowind? Not 100% sure. It look like. Look over here, behind these graves. Great. Love the treasure hunting here. Reminds me of Fallout. You always find stuff and then you craft them. Let's see what else over here. Don't need. Go up. Check over here. Good. Okay, good. Never had enough lockpicks. Alright. I think I could use. Let me check these. Good. Over to the guy that was hanging around. Saw his dog before. They're all empty. Good. All places in ruin. Let's see. Good. I don't need a dagger. We'll take the ash. Sell that. I'll hold up taking ingredients since I'm not in a town. And I have a backpack large enough to carry all the stuff, so better to prevent. Go up here. Little one. Good. Lockpick. Good. Great. Enjoy those. Always better to have a bunch of lockpicks. So many treasures around the world. This side. Can I read that book? Okay, this is for where I came from. Let me see this side if I miss anything. There we go. What is that place? Hammerfell, maybe? No, 100% sure. Let's see. Bernardi's Ruth? Perhaps, I'm not 100% sure. Just water, the form. Let me check this urn. Maybe notice it. Now let's make my way around the other side. Let's see what treasure's over here. Never know what you can get from these. Ah, what is this place? Blackwood? Not sure. Maybe. Come on, that one. Oh, there's some bases over here. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't give me no gold, so I'll be needing that. I already have one. A great job how this place looks. Let's see. Ah, good. Lucky me. I don't have to be buying lockpicks. Oh, let's do this one. So you can miss it. Let's see. Good. Ah, oops. Okay. No lockpick. That was just water in that one. Maybe later on I might be needing those ingredients to make poisons. But not right now. I don't want to be overwhelmed my backpack. There we go. Almost missed it. Good. Let's see. I don't need it. Good. Ash. More ash. Oh, good. Okay, I came down from this side. Let me just look at the inner parts of the circle. Oh. Don't need that. Okay, there's so many beverages. Oh, let's see. Let's check in these. Now, wherever this place is, does not look familiar. And it's not Skyrim, I don't think so. Ooh, almost missed this one here in the corner. Okay, it's empty. I don't recognize this place. That one's empty. Jasmine. More jasmine. If there's anything around here. Oh, yes. More ash. No lockpick. Oh, look at this. Okay, this one's open. But not that one. More ash. Okay, and no lockpick. Let's see. That one's open already. Good. Right. Oh, great. Let me see if this one says anything. It has berries. There's an iron one. That might be elsewhere. I remember the dragons. That one's empty. Okay, some bone. More barley. Decorative wax, I'll take that. Can't use that right now. Yash. I already have armor. Armor's okay. Alright, let me go. If I miss anything around here. Wax. Okay, before, let me see if this pedestal's anything. Work it out. More bone. I love the lockpicks. Some treasure chests are so hard, or so fast, and you have to try to unlock them. You feel your nerves rushing and just trying to get that thing unlocked. It's always good to have plenty lockpicks. I guess once you get used to it and get better at it, you won't be wasting too many. But you never say no to them. Always better to have. Okay, let me take a look in here. Like a long spiral. There we go. Some of these little ones you miss. Let me just get this and let me talk to her, see what she tells me.
Can you believe this? Just look around. With this arcane helix exposed, the chamber is positively crackling with magic. The Keyrights Gallery has come to life, and I finally think I know why.
What do you mean? Why did it come to life?
Because of you. Matters in Tamriel are bleak. War rages in Cyrodiil. Daedric princes conspire. Dragons ride the winds of elsewhere. The Second Era needs a savior. I believe the Gallery, perhaps even the Adamantine Tower itself, chose you.
What do you think I should do next?
The Keyrights Gallery opened doors to every corner of Tamriel, places I suspect that desperately need a hero's aid. This choice is yours to make, but wherever you choose to go, I'm sure adventure awaits. May the stars protect you. So, have you chosen where to go? What region of the world strikes your fancy? Not everyone gets to pass instantly from one side of Tamriel to another, you know. This is quite a gift.
Let's see. Do you really think fate brought me here?
Well, fate's sort of a clumsy way to put it. No offense. Honestly, we may never know why you were chosen. But I believe there was intention here. Something, whether it be the stars, the gallery, or the tower itself, placed you here for a reason.
And Chazelle, what brought it here?
Perhaps it followed you to prevent you from reaching your... well, destiny sounds a bit too grandiose. Let's just say to stop you from reaching your potential. Then again, maybe the power of this place brought you here to stop Chazelle.
I guess we'll never know.
Probably not. But what's a life without unanswered questions, right? Boring, if you ask me.
You think you ever unravel the mysteries of this place?
Ha! An elf can hope. Answering that question will probably keep me occupied for the next 100 years. Is the Helix connected to the Adamantine Tower? How does it perceive distant corners of Tamriel? I may never understand it, but I'll do my best.
Do you plan to use any of these doors?
What, me? No, I've got work to do. The Cinderil will want every bit of this place searched and studied. Since I did the discovering, I'll probably end up leading the effort. Adventure abroad sounds all well and good, but my place is here.
Any thoughts on where I should go?
It is a bit overwhelming, isn't it? The whole of Tamriel is stretched out before you. We could start with the political considerations. 3 great alliances vie for control of Cyrodiil. Does the fate of the Pact, Covenant, or Dominion interest you?
Yes, I would like to travel to Alliance territory.
Excellent. You can visit Stros Mackay and Daggerfall Covenant territory, an island called Kanathi's Ruse that the Aldmeri Dominion set its eyes on, or the Ebonheart Pact's domain.
On second thought, I might want to travel outside the borders of the 3 alliances.
I don't blame you. Interprovincial intrigue is the basis of my whole profession, and even I find it tiresome after a while. I suppose that widens the map a bit.
Where else could I find adventure?
Well, as I said before, threats to Tamriel have grown like weeds practically everywhere. Would you prefer to spend time among my elven kin, the Khajiit of elsewhere, or men of the north and south?
Elven King? Where can I visit the elves?
If you take the gate to Vardenfell, you can meet the Dark Elves, and maybe even the God King, Vivek. You could also travel south to Somerset Isle, our ancestral home and the primary seat of power for the High Elves.
Let me see. There's work to do in Somerset Isle.
Always. Though the natives don't make it easy. High Elves of Somerset don't share the Durrani's pragmatism. They're often too proud to ask for help. But our agents reported some strange activity around the Crystal Tower. It's probably worth a look.
What can you tell me about elsewhere?
According to our spies, the land of the catfolk is in sorry shape. Imperial holdouts sit upon the throne and a rage of dragons spilled out of the halls of Colossus, burning everything in their path. If it's adventure you seek, you'll find it there.
You mentioned elves too. Where can I find them?
If you take the gate to Vardenfell, you can meet the Dark Elves, and maybe even the God King, Vivek. You could also travel south to Somerset Isle, our ancestral home and the primary seat of power for the High Elves.
What's going on in Vanderfell?
Squeezing information out of the Dark Elves is delicate business. To be honest, we know far less about what's going on in Morrowind than we should. I can tell you that Vivek put out a summons for heroes recently. That's worrying.
You tell me about these realms of man you mentioned.
Certainly. One of these gates appear to go to Western Skyrim, a mythical kingdom of Nords led by King Svargrim. The other leads to Blackwood, at the southern tip of Cyrodiil. Imperial remnants rule there.
What's happening in Western Skyrim?
The Nords of Western Skyrim are inhospitable, to put it lightly. Even so, we've been able to glean a few things. I've read reports about increased vampiric activity in the region. Never a good sign. They need stout adventurers to deal with it. According to our spies, certainly. One of these gates our agents are investigating a handful of strange Daedric structures hidden away in the swamps near Gideon and Leowyn. I honestly couldn't tell you how they got there, but the presence of Daedric anything in Tamriel is always cause for concern.
Okay, goodbye. Ah, another wood elf. Okay. Right. Get him up. That'd be quick. Oh. And yum. Let's see. Check it out. Those are locked over there. I can go. Check where these portals are. Hammerfell.
This portal leads to Vardenfell. Fascinating, given that the Dark Elves only recently opened it to outsiders. Our spies indicate there might be something wrong with the Dunmer's God King, Vivek. Anything capable of that is a threat to everyone.
Oh, so I was right. Oh, that was like Morrowind area. I missed these behind. That's okay. Oh, there's a deep rock.
It appears this one leads to Bleak Rock, a frigid Nord holding, north of Eastmarch. For this gate to choose such a remote location, something important must be taking place there. The gallery is beckoning you to face it. Ready to brave the cold?
Okay, let's see over here. Oh, some of the gate somewhere. Oh, all the way back here. Look at this. Let me see if I was right. Do unlock. I wonder there's gonna be another one there.
This portal leads to elsewhere. The home of the catfolk is well worth visiting, especially in light of recent events. Reports indicate that dragons re-emerged there. Dragons? Hard to believe, but it's true. The Khajiit could definitely use your help.
Ah, I was right. Elsewhere. Take a look over here. Ah, Stros Mackay.
Stros Mackay. It's a fascinating island with rich Dwarven and Redguard history. Alas, it's been largely overrun by pirates. If the gallery elected to open a portal to the island, something extraordinary must be occurring there. So, ready to set out?
Ah, I was wrong. That was Hammerfell. Stros Mackay. That's what I have to be Canarthi's Roost, yep.
That's Canarthi's Roost, a Khajiiti isle with emerging ties to the Aldmeri Dominion. Sea elves have been flexing their muscles in that part of the Topal Bay. Competing interests could lead to bloodshed. Someone like you could set things right.
The Aldmeri Dominions is of a good elf.
We submit to your will and call forth the chains of cold.
They're performing a ritual, preparing the way for a dark anchor.
Opening rift to oblivion.
It's worse than we thought. The plane melt has begun.
The portals reach from our side to theirs. That means there is a traitor.
Perhaps it was simply arrogance. Perhaps it was all part of his grand scheme. Who can know the logic of a Daedric prince?
Claims it fulfills a prophecy in those wretched scrolls of his.
Imagine seeing your nemesis succeed where you failed.
Let the way be opened.
I am patient.
Let the will of Moloch Baal be denied.
This world will one day be mine.
Very nice. What? Dark elf. Let me sell some of this stuff before I set out. I think I've died.
You there, wet one. This one needs to speak to you.
Welcome to Eagle Strand. Though, normally, everyone isn't stranded by a storm this way.
Okay. Let me repair my gear. Okay.
Guards! A little help here!
And that. I don't have a bank yet. Alrighty, let me start my adventure. What is
I don't care to sail through corpses, but if I dock at Mistral, they'll inspect my cargo. Which is all legitimate, I assure you.
looking for paths of this land?
Where do you need to go?
Okay.
I can take you to Vulkelgard in Oridon. I have many things to sell to the High Elves. All of them legal.
Right, take me to Vulkelgard.
You are the one I seek. Greetings. My benefactor wishes to speak to you about a matter that could affect the fate of our world.
What does your benefactor want?
If my benefactor wished to discuss details in the open, why send a messenger? The matter is for your ears only.
Where can I find them?
A passenger cabin in the interim suitor down at the docks. Do not tarry.
I'll seek them out. in that ship. It's cloudy here.
Traveler, a moment of your time.
Take up, okay? Yep. Dancing Kajit. You know, like an Indian dance. Something like that, like Southeast Asia. There we go. What? Really impressive. Yeah, another person.
Whoa there! Are you all right? The name's Lyris. I hope you've still got some fight left in you. You're going to need it. Dead. Must have been the runt of the litter.
Is there anything here good? Big. Oh, pretty much there's nothing. Yep. Look like hell here. Oh, there she goes.
Keep your weapon ready and stay sharp. This place is full of surprises.
Okay, he's dead.
Keep moving. There are more Daedra on the way.
Don't stop now. Keep moving. More guards
Let's
are
keep
on the
moving.
way.
Oh,
Let's get out of here, my friend. Prophet.
Greetings, Leslie. Like you, I'm a prisoner in this place.
oh,
You must
because-
rescue me, and I, in turn, must rescue you.
Hold a moment. Come here. We need to talk. The Prophet. He's a prisoner here too. It was very dangerous for him to speak to you, even for a moment. You must think you can help me.
Help you do what?
break him out, of course. Believe me, I can use all the help I can get. That blind old man is the only person alive who can help us get back home. Tamriel's a long way from here.
Where do we go from here?
These tunnels will eventually take us to the Towers of Eyes. That's where we'll find the Sentinels.
Where are these Sentinels?
Magical constructs created by Molag Bal to guide his vision in Cold Harbor. The Sentinels are connected. If we destroy one, the others will be blinded. With any luck, that will buy us the time we need to free the Prophet.
How can we destroy it?
I've no idea. Brute force? We'll find a way. We have to. Be ready for anything. I doubt Molag Bal left the Sentinels unguarded.
I have so many questions.
I'm sure you do, and I'll answer them as best I can.
This place, where am I?
You're obviously not in Tamriel anymore. Think of the most miserable, depressing place you've ever been in your life. That's paradise compared to Cold Harbor. And to top it off, well, there's no easy way to say it. You're dead.
Then how are we having this conversation?
I don't know. Once we rescue the Prophet, he can tell you about the gods and the ways of Oblivion. I don't understand any of it myself.
If I'm dead, who killed me?
A man named Menemarco. His worm cult is doing some kind of ritual back in Tamriel. They sacrificed you and everyone in this prison to the Daedric Prince Molag Bal. After you died, whatever was left showed up here. They call you the Soul Shriven.
What does that mean?
It means you're a slave and you'll spend the rest of eternity here in Cold Harbor, working under the lash of the Daedra. Unless, of course, you come with me.
Are you dead too?
No, I wasn't sacrificed. The Prophet and I were brought here conventionally, if that makes any sense. But we're prisoners here, same as you.
Who is this Prophet?
He's a strange one, no doubt about it. But he's the wisest man I've ever met. He sees things. The past, the future. You're obviously not in Tamriel. I don't know. Once we rescue the Prophet, he can tell you about the gods and the ways of Oblivion. I don't understand any of it myself.
How can we rescue the Prophet?
It won't be easy. The place is watched by magical constructs called Sentinels. We won't stand a chance unless we can blind them. I'll tell you more when we get there. And we'll never get there if we don't get moving.
Okay.
We should keep moving. Well played, friend. Arcay's beard, you are good in a fight.
A god of brutality knows of your escape. Hurry!
The god of schemes can see every part of Cold Harbor. We need to distract him.
Right? Anything here? I could use here.
What was your name again? Target practice?
else. Don't need that. Need that. There's nothing here. See nothing in the table either. Thing. Let's see. Oh man, they're one of those things. I don't even know. Let's see. Okay, this guys. He's dead. Good. Oh, there's another. A zombie. Okay, she's dead. Okay, Rita. Dead. Nothing. Whoa.
Try to be inconspicuous. We've just got free of this place. The last thing we need is to get recaptured. I'll keep watch.
Oh, he was coach the prophet. There you go. Oh, now she comes. I didn't see her before. Dead.
Come get some more, you skeeving hawkers!
Tickle. Okay. What's over here? Volunteer. Water. Ash. Look at that guy. He's dead. Check here. Okay, there's nothing here. Oh no, they came back. He's dead. Uh-oh. He's dead. Oh, he shot me. See this thing. Who sell that?
Who taught that one to fight? The god of self-punishment?
Let's see. It's over here. Oh, I see one of those guys. Okay, dead. Oh, I see the creature. Dead. Nothing there. Oh wow, I didn't notice. Oh, somebody already opened the treasure. There's nothing here. Oh man. They have the same thing. Oh man. Huh?
That might have been a fair fight, if there were 3 of you.
The heck? Oh man. Yeah, got some gold on these. Okay, there's nothing back here. Go down. Oh no, another one of these guys. There was somebody else.
Fool! You will never escape my realm.
Hermamora's wagging tongue. The door's warded. We'll never get in this way.
Anything back here? Oh, the corpse. Hold on. I think it was a chest. Ah. You see what she tells me.
Damn it! Destroying the Sentinel must have triggered these wards. We'll need to find another way in. Maybe Catwell can help us.
Who's Catwell?
Catwell is the oldest of the Soul Shriven. After years of torment, Soul Shriven usually go insane and turn feral. But not Catwell. He was already insane before he left Tamriel. Mad as a box of frogs, but completely harmless. You'll see.
What kind of madman possibly help us?
Catwell sees things as he wishes them to be. To him, Cold Harbor is a wondrous place. It's his home. And he knows it like the back of his hand. He's usually down by the river. Let's go find him.
Alright, go.
One fine day in the middle of the night, two dead kings got up to fight. Back to back they faced each other, drew their bows, and stabbed themselves.
It's crazy. Is there anything around here I could use? Empty sack. No gear anywhere. No gear. At the very might be something around I could use. Nope. Okay, let me see what this guy tells me.
Hello, what's this? Out for a stroll then? Lovely day for it.
Must be Catwell.
Sir Catwell, yes, indeed, a pleasure. And fair Lyris, good to see you, my dear. How are you then?
We're trying to get inside the prophet's cell. Door is sealed.
Oh dear, well that is inconvenient, isn't it? Tell you what, I happen to know another way in. Much more of a scenic route. Rather a fun little jaunt actually, full of traps and corpses and nasty beasties filling up the bits in between.
How do we get through all that?
Rather cautiously, I expect. Watch your step, hold your nose, and do mind the traps. There'll like as not be a fair dose of running and skull bashing as well.
Where's the entrance?
Follow the river. You'll find the door to the Undercroft at the water's end. Once you're inside, stick to the light and you'll find a ladder that will take you right up to the Prophet straight away. Do give him my best.
Thanks.
Best of luck. Do check in now and again, won't you?
Tell me about yourself, said Catwell.
Well, there's not much to tell, is there? It's the same old pish-tosh, gallant knight, epic quests, rescued maidens. I came to this land when my head was quite unceremoniously separated from my body. Bad luck that, but you make the best of things.
How long have you been here?
Oh, quite a long time. In fact, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if I was the oldest of the soul-shriven. Of those who didn't go feral, that is. I know every tunnel and path, every nook and cranny. The others look up to me, I suppose.
How do you know Lyris?
Ah, Lyris. Girl's as mad as sheer Gorus jammies. Heart's in the right place, I suppose. Says she's got to rescue the Prophet to save us all from eternal torment. How an old blind man could do that is quite beyond me.
What do you know about the Prophet?
An imperial gentleman. Apparently he was once a powerful mage, but the years haven't been kind. Lyris says he knows of a path back to Tamriel. I rather think that if one existed, I'd have found it by now.
You don't think there's a way to get home?
I hadn't actually given it much thought. Anything's possible, I suppose. Truth is, I've been here so long, this place feels like home. But a good uprising now and again is a pleasant diversion, so where's the harm, eh?
You.
Catwell seems to think this Undercroft is a delightful place. Probably means it's a death trap. We better be careful. The sooner you get that door open, the sooner we can get out of here.
There you go. Ah, nice. Still got it. Oh, that was a creature. Some guy standing there. Oh, there is a treasure. Ah, nothing. Let's see what's in here. Empty also. Okay, he's dead.
This is the part where you bleed to death.
Is there anything over there? Oh. Go around here, see if there's anything. Empty. I saw a skeleton. Where is he? I saw a skeleton. Ah, there he goes. Good. Empty. Also. Oh. He's dead. Ah, I thought it was something else. Let's see. There's nobody. Oh, there's a chest back here. Oh, it's open.
Sorry, did that hurt? It looked painful.
Right Right. Protected by who? Oh. Got him. It's dead. Nothing. Nothing over here.
You know they're ugly when an axe in the face is an improvement.
Here. Ah, they opened up the treasure already. Okay, take the belt.
The Prophet's cage should be just ahead. Quickly now, we haven't much time. All right. The good news is we made it here in one piece, and the Prophet looks unharmed. Now the bad news. It's going to be up to you to keep him safe and get him back to Tamriel. I'm not going with you.
Just take a quick look around. Is there anything here? Or I speak with her. Oh, another blueprint. Good. Let's see. There's nothing. An X. Over this area, let me check. Nothing. Oh, empty. Oh, check back here, this one. Oh, that's empty. What Lyris has to say.
There's a trick to opening the cell. The only way for a prisoner to leave is for another living soul to take their place. I need to swap places with the Prophet.
There's no other way?
Believe me, I wish there was, but I don't see anyone else here with a beating heart, do you? If Molag Bal isn't stopped, he'll destroy everyone and everything we've ever loved.
When you are.
Once it's done, get moving. The Prophet will know where to go, but he'll need your eyes and your protection.
Got it. goes.
Freedom! I remember this feeling. It will be fleeting, though, if Moloch Baal has his way. Thank the divines you are safe. There is that, at least. There has sacrificed everything that we might go free. Her sacrifice must not be in vain.
Can we find a way to take her with us?
I wish that were possible, but I promise you, once we escape Cold Harbor, we will find a way to rescue her together, Vestige.
Vestige?
That is the name I have given you. You are but a trace of your former self, a soulless one, an empty vessel that longs to be filled. It is as the scrolls foretold, but not exactly as I imagined.
Why does Lyris call you the Prophet?
That is what I've come to be called. My true name is lost even to me. Years of torment have taken their toll. Quickly now, we must make haste to the anchor.
Anchor?
The anchors are Daedric machines of the darkest magic. Their chains bind our world and pull it towards Cold Harbor. I can use one of these anchors to return us to Tamriel, but you must lead me to it.
Alright, stay close then.
Up the stairs, quickly! We must get to the anchor mooring!
Oh. Crazy places. Oh, girl. Is right behind me? Okay. Okay, well, here's the exit. There he goes.
Come, we must hurry to the anchor mooring.
Oh, holy cow. Look at that thing. It's huge.
The mortal thinks it can defy me. Futile. Soon your world will be in my chains.
Come! I will protect you!
Oh, nice, got him.
A moment, Vestige.
Let me equip. Let's check this place quickly if there's anything. Just laying around. Hold on. Check. Look. Ah, somebody already opened it. Open all of them. An open chest. Oh, they didn't leave nothing for me to take. Nope, all empty. See, this one has anything. Ooh, orcish nightstand. Got it, nice. Goes over here. Nothing empty. See, let's look at this one. Have anything here? Okay, just ash. And back there. Empty. Empty crate also. What's over here? This one empty also? Yep, both empty. They ransacked this place, these guys, when they came. Okay. Okay, what's this guy?
The Dark Anchor's portal is high above us. I will prepare a spell to lift us to it. But first, you must reattune yourself to Nern in order to regain your physical form. To do this, you will need a Sky Shard.
Sky Shard.
A shard of ethereal magicka that carries the essence of Nern. Some link them to Lorcan, the missing god of creation. If you collect and absorb its power, it should restore your corporeal form. I will summon one of these shards for you to absorb.
Ready.
Shard of Aetherius, fall upon us now and anoint us with your blessing. There, quickly! Collect the Sky Shard. Great Akatosh, dragon god of time, I require your strength. Let the way be opened. Let these wandering souls return home. Let the will of Molag Bal be denied. Hurry! We must go now!
Now back to Canarty Streets.
The vestige awakens once again. Come here, we must speak. As I feared, we arrived in different locations. I am in a city near the sea, in a land of eternal spring. The air smells of the ocean, and of markets and gardens. It matters not. You have awakened once again, and we must set you on your path.
How long was I unconscious?
Days, weeks, I cannot tell. The voids between worlds disrupted all sense of time and space. I know only that you were deposited into the sea, and some charitable soul fished you out and brought you to dry land.
What should I do now?
I'm afraid you will have to decide that for yourself. I must focus on searching for a way to repay Lyris's bold sacrifice. I cannot simply abandon her to the wrath of Molag Bal.
And will I see you again?
I cannot foresee that, not yet. But we will meet again. There is still much we need to accomplish.
Got it.
Be wary, Vestige. Our very plane of existence is in peril. The threat of Molag Bal looms across all Tamriel, and chaos spreads in its shadow. Danger roams the land and will assume many forms. Do not let it catch you off guard.
Where should I go?
You must find your own path. But perhaps there is a reason for the place in which you find yourself. Explore, search for a cause to lend your hand. Join with others. You might even seek out those who rescued you from the sea. The choice is yours.
Think there are many who need my help?
Indeed. I sense that even now, there are good people near you who face grave danger. They need your assistance, should you be willing to give it. To thwart the will of Molag Bal, we must skirmish with evil wherever it rears its head.
Are there others who join me in this?
We do not face these troubled times alone. Many shall rise up to fight this tide of darkness. Wherever you go, you will encounter others who share your courage and valor. Help them if you can, and enlist their aid if you have need of it.
Understand. Nice. Oh, and then that was fun. Enjoy this next time. And enjoy the Elder Scrolls game here. Well, we'll continue again to broadcast it again. Although I do enjoy also Overwatch, but this is really good. I enjoy these type of storytelling. Knights and warriors. Well, till next time, take care everybody.